So what, we are doing the multicolored?
Yeah, Crowd, sorry, this is not quite in order. This is by CMC order. We don't actually have them sorted by color. Do you want to hit up like the Azorius cards first, and then the Demir cards,
Who
etc.?
cares, really? They are just
Okay, whatever. We'll just do these. We'll just do them in this order. It doesn't matter. Contraband Kingpin. It's blue-black, which is 2 mana for a Aetherborn Rogue, which is a 1/4 lifelink. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1. Yeah, so like this blocks mostly everything. The scrying is kind of nice if you play artifacts. It was never really overwhelming. Like it was never really super great as a card, even if you cast it, even in the deck that it was in. Definitely doesn't pull me into black blue. I'm not like opening this early and being like, dang, I want to be black blue because of this, buddy. So what we're going to do for the multicolored cards and how we've been doing it is that we rate them at a base in terms of how early we sort of pick them in the draft, taking into account their colors, and then we give them an in-color grade. So this one, for me, it's like a D+. I don't take this highly whatsoever.
This D+ for you?
Yeah, and then in color, it's like a C+.
Yeah, I'm also taking it very lowly, like a D+, and sure. In color, like one for actually stops some things, and scry is fine. There's gonna be artifact entering the battlefield. So yeah, sure, a D+, low D+, and then, like, if you're taking this exactly when you know you are in Dimir, right? You're not taking this if you are blue and thinking about going black, right? You gotta know you're in Dimir to take this. So just a D+, general, sure, the in-color grade, C+, not gonna be better than a C+. A solid C+, but still a C+. Ooh, this is... Okay, man, this is my favorite card in the set. I love playing with this card. So, okay, it's for white and black. It's an enchantment, hidden stockpile that has Revolt. Okay, this is the first Revolt card that we actually have. So this is what Revolt cards do. At the beginning of your... Revolt cards are la 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 la, something something something. If a permanent you controlled left the battlefield this turn, left, it can be bounced, it can be just phased out, and not phased out, like blinked. It needs to leave the battlefield for 1 millisecond, anything. It can die, it can be exiled. For 1 millisecond, or forever, it needs to leave the battlefield, and then something happens. With this card, at the beginning of your end step, if Revolt happened, create 1/1 colorless server artifact creature token. And for 1 and sacrifice a creature, you scry 1. I love playing with this. I love it way too much. I'm just gonna give it a C out of color. And I'm gonna give it a B- in color. If that's okay with you. What do you think, Scotty?
We can give it a B- in color. I think this card is always hot overrated, unfortunately, because I also really like it. Everyone loves it.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's neat to build around. It makes you feel smart. But unfortunately, even if you're kind of going off, it's not that good, unfortunately.
It's not busted.
Which I hate to say. It breaks my heart.
Yeah.
But I would take this, honestly, myself at a D+ level. I wouldn't incentivize it. I wouldn't take it very highly. And fine, we can do B- in color.
Yeah, I can give it a C-. I just love it too much. I'm gonna be picking it probably more than I should, because it's so interesting to make a deck where this works. If you have 2 of these, it's not legendary. If I sometimes had 2 or 3 of these, and that was so interesting to play with. Servos don't fly. Servos are 1/1s.
You can actually only make a max of 1, by the way.
Yeah,
like
I know.
If 10 permanents left the battlefield, you create 1 servo.
Yeah. But yeah. But if you get if you have 2 of these, that's so beautiful to play with, right? You kind of want to combo this if you have a lot of things that leave the battlefield, or this can trigger Revolt on its own, so that helps. It's also really nice with, you know, that a 3 mana Tutu creature that can sacrifice a creature you have, and it gains +1/+1 counter. So it's nice to play with that. But I'm picking it just as a C-, yeah, I guess, and it's a B- in color. I think it's really powerful in color.
Okie dokie. Talk about
Reset?
Veteran Motorist. After I reset the grades. Red and Motors is red, white for a dwarf pilot. It's a 3/1. When it enters the battlefield, scry 2, which is a really peculiar piece of text for a red-white card, but that's okay. Whenever it crews a vehicle, that vehicle gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Yeah, so +1/+1 on a vehicle is actually kind of big game. Literally, or it's oftentimes the difference, or can be the difference between whether or not your vehicle has a good attack or not. Also plays defensive, so you can crew something onto the defense and also block something with a larger vehicle. Having 3 power on its own means it can crew basically every single vehicle
For 2 mana.
except for like Demolition Stomper. Overall, I don't think you should like dive into a color because it is just like a 2-drop, like a efficient 2-drop. You're not supposed to dive into a color just for this, but if you're in the color, it's going to be probably one of your best 2-drops. So I got this one at a C- out of color, and I think in color it's going to be a B-.
Same. Like just 3/1, that's Christ 2. That's enough. That's pretty good. But it's kind of scary for anything to have 1 toughness that can be blocked. This can be blocked by artifact creatures. But still, just Scribe 2 already did something, even if he dies, if you have some vehicles. +1/+1 is not small. So, yep, B- in color. And I'm picking it as high as C-. I'm not gonna pick this card to be Boros. I like to be in one of these colors, and maybe it helps me choose the second color. That's how I look at it. So just a C- is how highly I pick it right away.
I guess maybe we should like note when we look at these things, like what the archetype looks like for, because we actually haven't talked about that. Yeah, like red, white, based on that, I guess it's pretty obvious, but vehicles, right? They have some cards that care about vehicles. Red, white isn't like, hey, I need vehicles or I lose, right? It's more like, hey, vehicles are better in red, white.
Yeah.
And they're just some cards that overlap that make vehicles better, right?
Yeah, exactly. I have cards that make vehicles have haste. I have cards that make vehicles have flying. I have cards that make vehicles have first strike and be bigger, and so on. So,
but it's not like if you have no vehicles, you can still have a good red white aggressive deck
exactly.
with this, like good into the like good creatures attacking combat tricks.
Exactly. They just make vehicles a bit better. By the way, it took us longer to review artifacts because Kaladesh is the artifact set. It has a good number of artifacts. And the first one is always a bit longer, first page, because we want to go over all the mechanics. Now everybody knows about most mechanics. Okay, we have a Gruul 2-drop. When Voltaic Brawler enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy counters, and whenever it attacks, you may pay 1 energy. If you do, it gets +1/+1 and gains trample until end of turn. This has always been really nice in Gruul. I've always been really happy to play it. Just being a 3/2 is nice. Being a 4/3 for 2 times when it attacks, that's pretty damn great. There is no threat of activation. Wait. You gotta pay.
No, you have to choose. You have to choose when it attacks.
Yeah. When it attacks, right? No, there is no threat of activation. Yeah. You can. It's not while it's attacking. I think that would be the wording. So
I mean, the more important thing, your opponent's going to know if it's a 4/3 or a 3/2 when they block.
Yeah, and it's a 4/3 trample. That's pretty huge on turn 3, 2 times, and then it remains a 3/2, which is still really good. And you don't have to use energy here. You can use it somewhere else if it's better. So this is really, really nice. I'm still picking it as a C-, because I kind of want to know that I'm skewing towards Gruul. But easy B- in color as well.
Exact same, nothing else to add.
Ooh, maybe this is one of my top 2 cards in the set as well, actually.
Talking about Winding Constrictor. Winding Constrictor is a snake. If 1 or more counters would be placed on an artifact or creature, sorry, it's a 2/3. But if 1 or more creatures would be placed on an artifact or creature you control, place that many counters +1, or that many counters +1 are placed on that permanent instead. If you would get 1 or more counters, you get that many counters +1 instead. So if you get 2 energy from a creature and Winding Constrictor's on the battlefield, you get 3 energy. If Winding Constrictor get a +1/+1 counter, it gets 2 +1/+1 counters instead. Conclave Mentor, right? We played with that card.
What is it? If any creature gets +1/+1, that's what you said? Didn't you say Winding Constructor?
Yeah, when any creature. I was just giving examples. But yeah, Conclave Mentor is a card that works with the +1/+1 counter stuff of this, but this had its added energy bonus of energy. Yeah, my words are making sense.
What's going on, Scotty?
But this card is super powerful. Y'all know how good Conclave Mentor was, right? I do think that there's less quality +1/+1 counters overall, but there's stuff like Fabricate, which adds the +1/+1 counter, or Servo. We haven't seen any Fabricate cards yet, but that's certainly a thing to just make all your creatures like overstated. There's like stuff like Subtle Strike in this format, that just works beautifully with this. Just turns into like such an incredible trick. I take this quite highly. Like I would take this at like a C+ just to speculate based on power level, and probably in color I got this at a B.
Same. I would take this as a C+. Think this is easily the most powerful multicolored signpost uncommon that we saw so far. So there is energy. There are +1/+1 counters, especially green and black, obviously. So yeah, this amazing effect. C+, how highly I pick it because it's multicolored, and yeah, we're gonna see. There's another mythic uncommon in green. That is probably going to be one of the most powerful card that we are going to see in the whole set review. That works amazingly with this card. So yeah, that's also a thing. Okay, we have Imperial Voyager for colorless, a green and a blue. It's a 2/3 flying trample creature that says whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you get that many energy counters. So this is really solid. It doesn't do anything with this energy. Yeah, that the previous card with the 4/4 train, it becomes 6/6 8/8. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Hopefully I don't face that. Trample doesn't really matter, but why not? Why not? Just give it a trample. 2/3 flying for 3. It's already good. Giving you 2 energy per turn. Pretty damn good. You gotta be Simic for this, and let's hope you have a couple of energy payoffs that you can use multiple times, because some of the energy payoffs you're gonna use once and then the creature is gonna die, because a lot of them have you gotta attack and then use it, but still really nice. Just as a stats, the energy counters is a really nice bonus. I think this is the second most powerful out of these cards that we saw, but I'm still picking it as a C-, and I think it's a B- in color.
Same, nothing to add.
Because you gotta be Simic. You gotta be Simic, and sometimes it's just gonna be a 2/3 flyer, which is fine. Very fine.
Let's talk about Renegade Rallier. Renegade Rallier is 1 green-white, 3 mana total for a human warrior, 3/2. Has Revolt. When Renegade Rallier enters the battlefield, if a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, return target permanent card with converted mana cost 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. Yeah, this card looks very strong. When I first originally saw Aether Revolt, I'm like, dang, that's like a magic card. 2 things. It's not trivial to have something impactful whatsoever with CMC 2 or less in your graveyard. It's not. And also, it's actually kind of difficult to turn on a Revolt. Especially since like when people start getting used to the set and understand like what you're sort of doing. Also, knowing the Revolt cards in the set's pretty good in terms of understanding how your opponent's playing, if they make sort of a weird attack, etc.
Yeah.
I would study these if you're someone who studies instants and tricks and stuff to also keep in mind the Revolt cards. But overall, like this card is nice, but still doesn't really draw me into green and white as an archetype, So I would probably still pick this one at like a C minus C plus for me, or C minus in color, C plus. C plus in color, C minus out of color.
Yeah, it is. I think it's not hard to have something like this in your graveyard, because you're gonna have a lot of your creatures. I think are gonna be 2-drops, and you're gonna have those artifacts that you can sack. That are also permanent, right? The Renegade map not really happy with that. It's not that easy to trigger Revolt. Again, this is also a thing with Kaladesh. It has pretty good aggressive creatures, and the opponent is kind of afraid to block because of Revolt. So there's going to be a lot of mind games happening. The better the player you are playing against, the weirder attacks you usually can make if you're bluffing. So that makes blocking kind of scary. A lot of the things make blocking scary in Kaladesh. That was the case before, and I think it's going to be the case now. I don't know if it's going to be as highly as pronounced. But everything Scotty said is correct, so same. Just a C minus and a very high C plus, I think, in color. But not going to draw me to this. Can you read the next one? I just got to go to the quick loo break.
Okay, let's talk about Renegade Wheelsmith. Renegade Wheelsmith, 1 red, white, 3 mana for a dwarf pilot. It's a 3/2. Whenever Renegade Wheelsmith becomes tapped, target creature can't block this turn. This card is big game. Like, casting this on turn 3, it's like a reasonable body on its own, but like choosing which creature that isn't able to block when you're crunching in is actually extremely nice. If y'all remember Mobile Garrison, the card that untaps when it attacks, or untaps a creature or artifact when it attacks, you can like do stuff like untap something like Renegade Wheelsmith. And it should be noted that if you have a vehicle that's already crewed, you can actually crew it again. You can just, there's nothing stopping you from turning a crewed vehicle into a crewed vehicle. So you can just like tap this twice and like be able to knock out multiple blockers if you have specifically something to untap Renegade Wheelsmith. But yeah, even when you're just playing this on turn 3, even without a vehicle and just attacking, you can just make things that trade with this efficiently, not be able to block. Overall, I think this is a really scary card to see on the other side of the battlefield. You know, if your opponent goes 2-drop, 3-drop, and 3-drop is this, you're just like, okay, dang. You get in those situations where you're like, okay, I got to put on the emergency brakes here and handle this board. Get this off the battlefield so I can actually block efficiently. I think this card is nice. I probably take this at like a C, and then probably still just like a B- in color. Lola says, this card is pretty good because it can crew Skyskiff and then make their only reach creature not be able to block. That's a really good point, Lola. That's a really good point. Yeah, it does let you crew this guy. See, Lola's literally just saying it. Woo. If Lola only drew this card to crew Skyskiff, he would have gotten all those top 8s instead of LSV. Lola had a bunch of win-ins versus LSV for like basically every single top 8 is always on the bubble, but always lost it because never drew the Skyskiff Renegade Wheelsmith combo. Let's actually crew the Divination Daredevil. Divination Daredevil is a good name. That's a really good name for it. What should we talk about? I don't know where Lola is. Lola's clearly typing. What embarrassing Lola stories do y'all have? What's like the most embarrassing thing Lola's done on stream? Is it clipped as well?
Oh, did you want a PTQ story?
Clips would be nice.
No.
What's your question? What's your question? Your question was? What is your question? Lola's crewing his toilet. That's incredible. So if you're trying to get this Lesnie card to trigger by attacking, opponent doesn't block and trade, do you play it right away or hold it for another turn? I think you just play it eagle. I think you're just supposed to play it. Like holding on to things and missing your land. Well, here's the deal. Actually, if you have no other 3-drop, play it. But if you have another 3-drop, you can just play the other 3-drop, and that's not that much of a loss. But if it's that or passing the turn, there's like usually no way. It's usually always right to just get a creature on the battlefield. Of course, there are exceptions. Oh, you want the PTQ story? Okay, Han was also pressuring me to tell the PTQ story.
I wasn't pressuring you.
Okay, fine. Pressuring is the wrong word. Fine, I can tell the PTQ story. So Dukara Peafowl costs 1 mana to activate to give it flying. There's also another card in Kaladesh Remastered that takes mana to activate to give it unblockable. If anyone knows Kaladesh, it's Gear Seeker Serpent. Essentially, I was in a PTQ. Might have been a PTQ finals or I don't know, something that would like, it was a pretty, for a local level, it's a high stakes match, but like not really, no like huge money, but like for qualification or whatever, or not. I had lethal on the battlefield because they were at 7 life, and I had a 5 power unblockable creature if you pay mana, and Dukara Peafowl, which is a flying creature with 2 power, and they were at 7 life. So I had literally had lethal. I had a card in hand, or I had a land in hand, and it had like 6 mana on the battlefield or something. The Gear Seeker Serpent costed like 6 mana to activate. Dukara Peafowl costs 1, and I just like immediately went to combat. It's not a super flashy story. I was just like, go to attacks, time to like crash in with my unblockable creatures, and then I just didn't play my land from my hand. But I played it main phase 2. So for the extra embarrassment, that's it. That's the story. It wasn't that fun.
I hate you.
Lola's stories are better.
No, you're fueling the fire. I never said I was better than LS3.
Yeah, you never did. That's not what I
bad.
said. I didn't accuse you of that.
Okay, so
I don't know why you're getting so defensive.
I heard everything while I was on the toilet. So, okay, so this is you never want to crew a fucking sky skiff, okay? It's not even a joke. It's not even a joke. Like, it's terrible if you crew the sky skiff it is. But still, it's a really good card. Even if it attacks on its own, right? Yeah, sure, you want to crew vehicles, but just attacking with it seems fine. C and in color, like easy B minus. What do you give it, Scotty?
Exact same, C and B minus.
Okay.
We did it.
Rogue Refiner for 1 and a green and a blue. It's a 3/2 that says when it enters the battlefield, draw a card and you get 2 energy counters. This is really
Reciprocate.
super, extremely solid. This was banned in standard if I recall correctly.
You're right.
It's amazing. Like if you have any energy, so just playing a 3/2 and drawing a card is amazing. And if you have, by the way, every color gets 2, right? Every color gets 2 multicolored cards, multicolor uncommons, right?
Yep. Each set has 2, so it's like 20, right?
So this is amazing. I mean, I'm gonna give this C plus. I think how high I pick it, or it's close to a C plus or a C, but I mean in color, it's a B in color. Just drawing a card is so good, but getting to energy is also amazing. What do you think, Scotty?
I have the exact same. I have nothing else to add. A C plus B.
So Simic has 3. Isn't that like 10 per archetype? Let me see. 10 per. We're gonna see.
I think
how
Simic
many.
only has 2. I think they all have 2.
I think they'll have 2 as well.
Well,
LSV stands for Lola Sucks at Vehicles. Now, that's a good one.
Tezzert's Touch. Tezzert's Touch is a 1 blue, black. It's an aura. You enchant an artifact. The artifact is a creature with base power, toughness 5/5 in addition to its other types. When enchanted, artifact is put into the graveyard. Return that card to its owner's hand. Yeah, I think a big question with this card, first rules-wise, if you slap this on a vehicle, it's not like it adds 5/5 on top of the vehicle's power toughness. It creates its base power toughness as a 5/5. So it's not like you get like this wombo combo with vehicles that it just makes it massive. It's just a 5/5. Whenever it dies, you put that card into its owner's hand. Like, this card is okay. You really do want those small, tiny, maybe cards that have enter the battlefield effects, like artifacts that have enter the battlefield effects. But it can be pretty clunky to have an artifact on the battlefield before you slap this on. And it's not like if you slap this on a 2/2, right? A 2/2 artifact creature for 2, you're not really getting that much of a bonus. You're like adding an Oaken form on it. Congratulations. You know?
can slap it on a servo.
Yeah, you can put it on a servo, which is like pretty nice, right? You can put it on like a renegade map that you no longer need. It's like kind of sort of nice.
Yeah.
But it's conditional and it's like fine. I have this at a D plus, and in color I think it's a C plus.
I think in color it's still a C, because it's an enchantment. It doesn't really enchant a creature. It enchants artifacts, so It is pretty good with probably what's the name? The sphere that draws you a card when it enters the battlefield. That's the best one probably. Like
Ornithopter.
play that ornithopter. Play that and draw a card on turn 2, on turn 3. Play Tezzeret, touch on it. You get a 5/5. It's gonna deal a lot of damage. When it dies, it's just gonna go back into your hand. You're gonna draw another card. Everything is very nice and dandy. I don't think it's higher than a C in a color, or even a C minus.
Fine, we can go C. We can go C.
Okay, let's go C. Let's go C. Like I would probably be close to a C minus. I'm picking this as a D. I really like. I'm not even picking this highly when I'm Dimir. I'm picking this highly when I'm Dimir, and I got something going on. Can we go to C minus?
The Dimir gold cards are not hot.
Yeah. The Dimir gold cards are very bad compared to the other ones. So do we just? Can we give this like a C minus in color?
I'll do it. It's not great, but like
because in some decks, right? It's not even that good to put it on the servo. You gotta get the servo first, and when you're not playing this, you gotta play this on turn 3. If you're playing it later, you're just gonna lose. So it's just an enchant creature. You put it on a servo. You get nothing back to your hand. It's
okay. Yeah, I'll do C minus.
okay. No need if you don't agree.
Nah. I don't like the card.
Yeah. Okay, unlicensed disintegration. For 1 and a black and a red, destroy target creature. If you control an artifact, it deals 3 damage to that creature's controller. Great, instant, fast, beautiful, splashable. Picking it as a C plus. But in color B. It's just so efficient. And it's so nice to deal 3 damage in an aggressive set like this one.
I think this card is the hotness. Yeah, in color, I think it's a B. I'd take it as a B minus, but it's just difference in speculation.
Okay. I don't think that it's that easy to splash in Kaladesh. That's also the thing. Your turn?
Well-to-fast engineer, 1 black-red. For a human artificer, it's a 3/3. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target artifact creature you control gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Think about the servos. Think about crashing servos into much larger creatures. Think about Skyskiff. But Thopters, stuff like that. I think that this card actually does a decent amount of work. You play a 2-drop that's an artifact, and you curve out into this. It's kind of like 2-powered haste. It's pretty powerful, but at the same time, still doesn't draw me into black-red, particularly. So I got this one at like a C minus, B minus. Our favorite combo.
I think this is really powerful. I think it's a high B minus in color. I agree. I'm picking this as a C. I think it's because it's gonna work with most of the things. Like it is gonna work, and it's a 3/3. Like if you just play it as a 3/3, that's completely fine. I never said that, and I think it's a C. And I said I could go up with a. I never said anything like that, and I think I'm gonna go maybe up on a Skyskiff, but not sure yet. Whirler, right?
Whirler.
Whirler Virtuoso. For 1 and a blue and a red, it's a 2/3. That says when it enters the battlefield, you get 3 energy counters, and you can pay 3 energy counters to create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. So it's nice that you get that energy, and you can actually use it whenever you want with this effect, or maybe just use it with other effects. Maybe you have some good attackers that want to attack now. Just having a 3 mana 2/3 that creates a 1/1 flying, it's really, really good. That's high. That's really above the curve. So I'm picking this as high as a C. I think it's pretty damn good. I'm actually picking it as a C minus, I think. No, I'm picking it as a C, but in color, B minus or B? I think it's B minus.
I can live with B minus. I think this is one of the best things to sink energy into. If you're gonna spend energy on effects, I think most of them are just going to be worse than 3 for a Thopter. So like if you have
But 3
just
mana, right?
waste-
3 energy.
sorry, 3 energy, yeah. This is hot. This card's hot.
Yeah, it's
I
hot.
would honestly pick this at a C plus, but just difference in speculation, and I think in color B minus is fine.
Okay, okay. Your turn.
Let's talk about hazardous conditions. Hazardous conditions: 2 black, green for sorcery creatures with no counters on them. Get -2/-2 until end of turn. Yeah, so this seems like a plant for like, yo, you got these -1/-1 counter creatures, and your opponent doesn't, and you're just gonna plague win them. I don't think it really plays out like that. I don't think this kills enough. It kills servos, it kills Thopters. Sure, it's gonna kill some early stuff. I often found myself sideboarding this a lot more than not.
Yeah.
It can be like sort of nice if you have some -1/-1 counter, or if you have some counter creatures to use this and then attack, right? Like if you have like a really stalled board and you really have something like this. But I think I take this as low as like a D, and in color it's like kind of like a C.
Do we go with the sideboard grade? Because this is really good to have in a sideboard if you're Golgari.
Is anyone playing sideboard in this format?
People are playing paper and so
Okay.
on. This is not.
This is not a paper product.
Yeah, this is not a paper. This is never gonna be. So we should just not give anything sideboard, right?
Yeah, just sideboards don't exist.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. This all can only be played with hand smoother as well, right?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. But but
Sorry.
still, I'm still very happy to play a new old set. So I don't care really. Okay, for 2. So how I'm picking this as a, I don't know, as a D. As a D. I'm picking it as a D. How highly did you say you're picking it?
D, exact same.
And what do you give it? Like
I got a C in color.
I could go down to a C minus, to tell the truth. Like -2/-2 is not that high, not that strong. Even though you're probably gonna have counters and shit, but you never know. Can we give it a C minus in color?
Okay.
Outland Boar for 2 and a red and a green. It's a 4/4 that can be blocked with creatures with power 2 or less. C minus in color, B minus. It cannot be blocked by artifact by a lot of creatures. Pretty good, yes. Again, Kaladesh was so fast that that even the 4-drops were sometimes expensive. Just so you know. But I don't think that's exactly the same thing here. What do you think?
Yeah, completely solid. I got this as C minus, B minus, our favorite combo. Like they're all kind of balanced out, you know, great or great cards, like, but not necessarily ones that I'm like, oh snap, I want to be in this archetype. It's just like, hey, if I'm red and thinking about green, or like red green, I'd be like, yes, give me. It's gonna be one of my better 4-drops.
So what do you give it?
C minus, B minus.
Okay, your turn.
Wait, what did you give it?
But C minus, B minus.
Okay. This is like the C minus, B minus show.
Mm-hmm. Really
Restoration Gearsmith. 2 white, black for a human artificer. It's a 3/3. When Restoration Gearsmith enters the battlefield, return target artifact or creature card from a graveyard to your hand. Okay, well, I said it's the C minus, B minus show, but this card is hot. This card is very strong. This is a sizable body for 4 mana. It's not good, but it can tangle on turn 4 plus, and just being able to get value off of it basically at any point in the game. Return your best creature from the graveyard to your hand,
just in case.
And an artifact, yeah. And sometimes you just sorry. Sometimes you just get value off it. I take this at a C plus, and I think in color it's just a B.
Depending, if the format is too fast, it's not gonna be a B. It's gonna be a B minus. But I can go up. I think it's a B minus in color, and I take it as, because if the format is fast, this is kind of a slow effect. Doesn't go to the battlefield like 3/3. A lot of 2-drops and 3-drops. Just trade with it.
I still have a tough time imagining you're unhappy trading off your 2-drop and then trading this off with your 3-drop and having one more card over your opponent.
Sometimes it's just you're gonna die. But I think, sure, it can be a B. But in Kaladesh, it was not I don't even remember playing this really. Uh, I guess. I guess it can be a B. I'm picking this. I guess I can pick it as a C plus. I mean, this is a real 3-3 with this effect is really good. So yeah. I'm picking it as a C plus.
In color, are you going B or B minus?
Sure, B is fine.
Okay.
Spire Patrol for 2 and a blue and a white. It's a flying 3/2 that says when it enters the battlefield, tap target creature an opponent controls, and that creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Really solid all around. Fine stats. Gonna race well. I love this card in the Kaladesh set before. This races super well. I'm picking it probably as a C, and definitely B minus in its color.
Same, nothing to add.
Okay. Ooh, your turn.
Let's talk about Cloud Blazer. Cloud Blazer is a 5 mana, 3 white, blue for a human scout 2/2 flying. When Cloud Blazer enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life and draw 2 cards. Yeah, this card's splashable. Draw it late, it's pretty good. It's not efficient, right? It's not efficient, but drawing 2 cards on top of a body that's not completely irrelevant is really, really nice
And getting
stuff.
2 life is big on this kind of
Yeah.
card.
I guess those from a long time ago, this is useless for the arena era, but if y'all remember Mole Drifter, it's not quite as good as Mole Drifter because it doesn't have the flexibility being divination, but the effect is very strong. You can't just discount, like, this is not divination with like nothing attached onto it. This is like very impactful on turn 5, and you're going to feel really good casting this. So I take this as highly as like a C plus, and I think in color, I want to give this a B in color, but it's a 5-drop, and I understand that you are guessing the format is quite fast, or like you might get run over.
But it's still really good. This is just it gives you time to play those 2 cards. I like B, C plus and B. I really like B for this, like a high B. I think it's just so powerful. And if you can remove it from the battlefield and get it back, or get it bounced into your hand, which is possible if you're not getting pressure that much, it just becomes crazy.
Or you're playing Esper and you Restoration Gearsmith Cloud Blazer back to your hand.
You
Heck
mean
yeah.
the tutu?
I was just making a joke.
Uh-huh.
Don't worry about it.
Engineered Might for 3 and a green and white. You choose one, target creature gets +5/+5 until end of turn and gains trample, or creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain vigilance. This kind of costs a lot. It's fine if you have some servos. It does cost a ton. I'm picking this as low as a D minus. Because even when I'm Celestia, it doesn't make the deck a lot of the times. It just is not very powerful card. Sorcery. I think it's a D plus in color.
Yeah, I agree. You had D minus, D plus.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be much better if it was choose 1, play it as a tap land, or mode 2, get +2/+2. But here we are.
Exactly.
In a highly mediocre land.
Is it even a D plus in color? Is it a D in color?
I'm going to go D plus. I mean,
It's probably a D.
if you're light and sometimes you can just, I don't know,
I think it's D in color, man.
servos, 3/3 vigilances.
Is this D in color?
Okay, fine.
This is
Card's not
just
very good.
very, very bad card.
Let's talk about Maverick Thopterist. Maverick Thopterist is 5 mana for a human artificer 2/2, but it has improvise, which means you can tap artifacts, and the artifacts sort of help pay for your costs. So you can tap 3 artifacts and an island and a mountain and cast this. When Maverick Thopterist enters the battlefield, create 2 +1/+, 2 1/1 Thopter artifact creature tokens with flying. Yeah, just cheating this out is very good. Casting this on turn 4 feels great. Casting this on turn 3 would be absolutely bustos, but I'm not sure is very likely. Oftentimes, if your deck is synergistic with this, you're going to cast this on turn 4. It's going to be awesome. I think this card is actually quite strong. Probably take this at a C, and in color, B minus.
There's sometimes a chance you can have 2 artifacts on turn 3, so that's really cool. How highly are you picking it?
Oh, I got this at a C and then a B minus.
Yeah, I can go with a C. And sure, B minus. This is a really good card. For 5 mana, it's not bad.
There's like a couple cards that create 2 artifacts in one card, right? Like the Servo Schematic, the Cog Workers. Although it's kind of awkward to have a third color, Cog Workers, Puzzle Knot with this, but yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, I like it.
Cast this on turn 3 with 3 Ornithopters.
Well, are we gonna go to colors now?
Yeah, let's go colors. Which color do you want to do first?
I think white, right?
Okay, let's
White,
do
blue,
white.
black, red, green. Vubrg.
1 second. Let me just sort this out.
Yeah, so you cannot see Scotty sorting it out. So what do you think about the format so far, chat? It is interesting. It is not as complex as Zendikar. I hope every new set is gonna be as complex as Zendikar, to tell the truth.
It's gonna feel. I think it's gonna feel so bad. It's gonna feel so bad. Like when the next sets come out, we're gonna miss being able to jam 18, 19 lands into your decks and hitting your land drops most of the time. We're just gonna look there at our 2 mana hands and be like, oh, well, I wish I want Zendikar back, but
They have
that's
really
just me.
been on point with some last sets. Like ever since Teros hits, they've had a lot of really good sets like that were very complex and interesting to draft. Like
We're ready to
Zendikar is
move on, by the way.
still so many interesting decisions. It's not autopilot. Okay, so we only have these?
These are the commons, white commons.
All right, so we're gonna be done with all the commons today, and uncommons. That's cool. Okay, Ellie evasion. For white, choose 1 target creature gets +1/+2, or return target creature you control to its owner's hand. But I don't know, D minus is a terrible trick. It's fine sometimes. I just really don't like it. I don't want to pick this unless I will it, and yeah, then maybe I hope I don't play this D minus. I really hope I don't play this.
Sure, I'm on a D. I don't like it that much. It looks like it's flexible, but the flexibility.
Yeah,
oftentimes
neither part is
isn't
really
isn't
good.
really going to push it over the edge of a natural card.
Neither part is really good. Yeah.
1 second, resetting the poll. Built to last, which is 1 mana instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. It's an artifact creature, gains indestructible. Can protect artifact creatures from removal. Can protect vehicles from removal, which is kind of bananas because like vehicles are already sort of immune to sorcery speed removal just by nature of them not usually popping up on your opponent's turn. And this one just can protect against an instant too, which is actually quite nice. This card actually lined up pretty well, but it's still just a combat trick. So I have this one at a C minus.
Whoa, C minus?
C minus.
That's high.
High?
Yeah.
Oh, I like combat tricks.
I
1 mana
really
combat
like
tricks
combat
are the spice of aggro decks.
No, I'm pretty sure I always give combat tricks lower grade than you, but I play more of them in my decks.
Yeah, so what the heck?
Yeah, weird. But I'm not picking them highly. I'm picking them like super late. That's when I get them. Like I'm wheeling the tricks usually. That's when I want them.
People need to pick tricks higher then.
I don't know about it. It's just like this card is all just giving 1 more power is giving you like a C minus compared to like a D. Okay, so this is a huge difference. It is +1/+2 compared to +2/+2. It's a huge difference. So you're gonna have some artifact creatures as well. So I guess I am giving it. I'm giving it a D plus. It's a fine trick. Why not? But nothing special. Tricks always open you up for 2 for 1s. That's kind of a problem. We're gonna do multicolor now.
Multicolor.
The
Let's go.
artifacts were like colorless was really weird for me.
With hit or miss.
Like the
or
grades
miss,
are really hit or miss.
The green has been crazy though.
I mean, green is green the best color? I think green
Yeah.
is the best color.
Yeah. Okay, by the way, every time we say green is the best color, means green is just okay. Right?
But it's also the best color.
Every time everybody thinks green is the best color, it is.
It doesn't mean. I think
is
what
in
you
the
mean
middle.
is don't just draft green because sometimes it's like the other colors aren't.
But
Yeah.
But every time green feels like a best color, it's probably like the third or the fourth, something like that. But this time it really is strong. This time green is just really strong because this time green it's not like interesting creatures. No, just everything has more stats and more effects than it should. So yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about Boss V Solidarity. So Boss V Solidarity is
Wait, what?
Slightly harder to cast, you know.
Oh, come on,
Show it
man.
again.
God
Show it
damn
again.
it.
Let's talk about Oath of Bajani. Oath of Bajani is green-white, 2 mana for a legendary enchantment. When Oath of Bajani enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Planeswalker spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. I mean, this is essentially Boss V Solidarity. There's some effects that are able to bounce this back to your hand or return it from your graveyard if it somehow dies, etc. But it's not. It's usually just going to be Boss V
Also, your
Solidarity and
Planeswalker
it's
spells.
gold. That's true. Your Planeswalker spells, but yeah, its goldness makes me take this a lot lower. I probably take this at like a C- rate, and in color, it's probably like a C+.
Yeah, this is fine in a go wide, fast, aggressive set. Usually these kind of effects are not that good, but it is fine. And on white common, you do have a 2/2 for 2 that bounces any permanent. It is any permanent, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
You can bounce your own prophetic prisms. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can bounce it. So that's fine. Still, yeah, I pick it. I mean, just because it's so aggressive, go wide, counters kind of matter somewhere. Not that much actually, but still. Yeah, I pick it. I guess I pick it as a C- and yeah, C+. It's not gonna be that good in your deck, but it's gonna be fine. Like C+ is super good, super fine in your Celestia decks.
Oh, I thought you guys both gave it a C+ for some reason.
Well, ceiling C+, or
Not
like
a
in
ceiling.
color
There is
C+.
no ceiling. We give it
Sorry,
in color
sorry,
grade.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, let's just give it a C- and move on then.
Do you agree with us for C+?
Oh, yeah, well, in color, but if we're not doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
We are doing
no,
that.
we're doing
Of
it in
course,
color.
we are
We're
always
doing it in
doing
color.
that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it's
I just said
sideboard
no
that we're
ceiling.
not doing.
So
bad.
yeah, guys, we are doing in color grade. So this is how highly we pick it as a C- on average. That's how highly we pick it. But when you know you're in Celestia, then you can take it as a C+ in most decks. So
Yes.
sometimes, of course, higher or lower, but we are just giving average grades here, right? All the multicolor cards are going to have a little bit lower grades, especially because in this set you don't really want to splash. You can, but in most decks it's gonna be pretty hard to splash, unfortunately, because splashing is a lot of fun. So there's that. The Pilot Exemplar. It's a Boros for 1 red and white. It is a legendary dwarf pilot, and it's a 3/3. All the other dwarves you control get +1/+1. Each vehicle you control gets +1/+1, as long as it's a creature, obviously. When the Pala becomes tapped, you may pay X colorless mana. If you do, reveal the top X cards of your library, put all dwarf and vehicle cards from among them into your hand, then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. There is a ton of dwarves. Just being a 3/3 for 3 is more than fine. Making all the vehicles better, making a lot of the creatures better, giving a card advantage. I'm picking this card as probably as a C. Boros was strong, and I think I'm picking it as a C+. Like it is. This is gonna be really solid, and in color. Probably a B or a B+. What about you, Mobius? Oh, god damn it. Fucking Kryler.
What? Is Mobius gone?
Jason. Jason, I'm an idiot.
What?
No, I'm missing. Mobius is dead. What's going on with Mobius?
I'm here. What happened? I'm worried now. What happened?
What's going on? Is everything on fire? Is another national emergency?
But I finished talking about the card.
Oy, but then you said like Jesus or something.
Because I said Jason to Kyler, because I don't know why I'm mixing him with the Mana Traders owner.
Classic Lola. Anyway,
Kyler,
I agree with
Kyler,
you
that just
mostly.
means Lola doesn't respect you.
I don't know. In color, definitely B. Out of color, I don't think I'm picking this super. I mean, I'm
Not a-
lying. I'd first pick this just for funsies, but I think I don't think I would ever first pick this if I'm being serious. So I'd put this at a C out of color. Almost never first pick this. That's it, really.
C what in colors? Just C?
C out of color and in color is like a B.
Okay, I like B in color, but I'm also taking this as a C+.
Yeah, I
Okay.
thought so. I that's why I spent so long thinking because I think I'm just lower on. I don't know this.
This
card.
effect is very strong.
Mobius, you have 2 seconds. Read the Kyler's Twitch name.
Rat's relic. What's wrong with it?
Nice. It's so hard for me.
What?
So why?
You read it.
Huh? Now I
You
can
read
read
it.
it when he did it. Red's relic.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
It's harder still.
All right.
Mobius.
Mobius.
Okay, Campbell, console of allocation. 1 colorless, 1 white, and 1 black. Ooh, my favorite colors. It's a 2/3 human advisor creature, legendary. And whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, that player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty dang cool. Non-creature.
Vehicles are non-creatures.
Yes. That's huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this set. This is one of those cards that doesn't really change too much in color. I would pick this at a C. And in color is probably high C plus or a low B minus. 2 and 2. Oh, that's a 4 life. B minus. That's a 4 life point swing. That's a lot. That's it. That's what I have to say.
Did I not reset the poll? Oh well. I'm pretty sure I did. So yeah, this effect I think was always deceptively strong. It doesn't look like. I mean, you can easily point a lot of stuff at it, right? It doesn't affect the board. Your opponent has agency over when they cast non-creature spells, etc. But it was always very annoying. I remember it being. But I think I'd also take this at a C in color B minus.
Yeah, the stats are kind of terrible, but effect is really good. In Kaladesh you need good stats, but 4 life swing is pretty big in an aggressive set. If you can probably trigger it once. I think I'm still picking it as a C minus. And in color, I would like to give it a C plus. Now Mobius has to decide, is it a C plus or a B minus in color? I'm on C plus.
High C
Scott
plus
on
is
B.
fine.
Okay.
High C plus is fine for me. I don't mind.
Okay.
I'm not, because the first thing I said, I don't think this card is that different inside and outside of color kind of thing.
What do you mean?
As in, the power level isn't like disproportionate.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't really change. It's just a base level. It's a decent
It's
effect.
it's not like gonna be busted. It's just a fine card. Sahili Rai. So this was.
I'm reading.
Yes, you are.
Whatever.
Yeah, I know. I know. He tried to jump in there.
I
didn't he?
forgot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, give Planeswalker. It's mine. So Sahili is 1 blue-red, 3 mana total for a legendary Planeswalker Sahili, 3 starting loyalty, +1, scry 1, and then Sahili deals 1 damage to each opponent, -2, Create a token that's a copy of a target artifact or creature you control, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. That token gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. And you can -7 search your library for up to 3 artifact cards with different names, then put them onto the battlefield and shuffle your library. Doesn't protect itself. It's very conditional in terms of when it can create a token, and the token only lasts for 1 turn. Relatively fragile. Sometimes can gain some life, and unfortunately, not very good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not very good. I think I take this at a gosh, you know, I take this probably at I probably take this at like a D-, and in color it's like a C-.
Yeah, this card is not very good. This card, the people are giving it A, B, B-.
Nobody's giving an A. There's one guy who's always voting everything an A.
Yeah, but it's A. No, it's not. It's A, B,
It
B-.
is.
Those are the votes that we have. So there is no Feldar, but who really cares about it? Because sure, you had an infinite combo, 2-card combo, which was a huge mistake on R&D part. Don't know how that got through. Like 2-card infinite combo. The 2-card win a game like that.
Did they even have play testing then? Design team?
They did.
They
Well, they didn't have play
probably did.
design, but they certainly did at least test a little bit.
Oh yeah, but we don't. That's just what they used to say, right? Play design is when they started testing their shit before releasing it.
I mean, getting that was like everybody was so weirded out. Like, how did a 2-card infinite combo? It's not even that much mana. How did that go through? It was like just plain Felidar and this and GG. It's just GG, instant GG unless they can interact. But yeah, this card is not very good. The first effect, Scry 1, not very good. Because it is not like an artifact that's going to scry 1 like the colorless artifact. It actually is double colored. And it doesn't gain you a card, it doesn't gain you a creature. You better have some Fabricate 2 or something. And even if you have Fabricate 2, use it once, then scry. It's not even that good. That's a lot to ask for something like this. This card, I'm also taking it as a D-. I don't think it's unplayable. And in color, I guess I can give it a C-, but it's probably a D+ or something. This doesn't do anything. Like, I guess in some decks it is gonna work, but in most, not really. The Kaladesh is super fast, so scrying 1 every turn and defending this Planeswalker when attacks are good and blocks are not that good is gonna be a very hard task. So I guess it can be C- in color, but it's probably gonna go down. I'm just giving it a D+ in color, actually. This card is bad.
I can do D+. It's not very good.
Wait, was D+ in color?
Yeah.
In color.
And D-.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Just double checking.
You same
Wait,
with us? Everything is the
Mobius,
same?
Sorry?
Everything is the same, Mobius, for you?
Yeah, I'm not impressed.
Okay. So Mobius D- off color, right, as well?
Yeah.
I'm so happy that Scotty, you read the last one. Dovin Ban. For 2 and a white and a blue, it's a legendary planeswalker that has 3 loyalty, and for +1, it has an ability that says until your next turn, up to 1 target creature gets -3/-0, and its activated abilities cannot be activated. For -1, you gain 2 life and draw a card, and for -7, you get an emblem with your opponents can't untap more than 2 permanents during their untap steps. So -7, the set is a bit too fast. So -7, it is super hard to just plus all the time with it. It renders most creatures just unable to attack, right? So +1 is a protection. Most things don't have more than 3. And since you're using it on your turn, you're usually not going to be attacking a lot after you play this, unless you're just destroying the game. So you kind of want to block and get more cards. So I like this card a lot in my Azorius decks. +1 does defend itself. -1 already gained you 2 life and a card, so that's not terrible. Nothing to write home about, but still, it's only -1. You can use it 2 times in a row, and then you're pretty good. And the opponent probably wants to get rid of it, but sometimes you just lose when if they are ahead on the board with you. So it is not a busted card or anything. It is still pretty damn good. I think I'm taking it somewhere in the C range, and the in-color grade is, I gotta think where, like a C or a C plus. And the in-color grade, I think it is a B in color. I really like this card. In B, probably B plus in some decks. Why do you say I hate Planeswalkers? B is a really high grade. No.
Well, you started with saying like C plus.
Yeah, but on average, not in color. Maybe I mistakenly said in color.
I think you slipped up with your words.
Maybe.
How dare you?
I think I'm picking it as a C plus and in color a B.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at.
Well, it's a little bit lower. We'll go with B in color because I'm outvoted. I'll take this at a C.
Were you gonna go at B minus?
I was gonna go B minus, but
Yeah, I mean, I can go down to B minus. I don't think, again, this Planeswalker's grade changes too much. I don't think the ceiling is super high on this. Exactly for the reasons Lola said, and then he went, "Oh, maybe it's even a B plus," which I didn't really agree with.
No.
But
In some decks, it is gonna be really, really good. I guess in some matchups,
I don't think this is ever B plus.
I guess in some matchups, but you cannot control that.
Yeah. I guess you can say that. Yeah, some matchups it'll just be there on the board.
I guess not even in matchups. I guess it's in what depending on the board state and who curved out better. I guess I'm gonna be picking it as a C, and Mobius, you decide what the ceiling is.
We can go down to B minus with the ceiling.
Yeah, I think ceiling could be B minus.
I win by saying nothing.
It's okay. Lola convinced himself.
Are you down to a C in color with Mobius, or are you still C plus?
Out of color.
Out of color.
No,
Out of
I'd
color.
pick this at a C plus because I like Dovin and I like those color
It's
combinations.
not really out of color. It's like on average how highly you pick the card.
Yeah. On average. Sorry.
Mobius?
All right. Is it me? Rashmi Eternity's Craft, 2 colorless, 1 green and 1 blue. So it's a Simic legendary creature, Elf Druid, 2/3. And whenever you cast your first spell each turn, reveal the top card of your library. You may cast it without paying its mana cost. If it's a spell with lesser CMC. If you don't cast it, put it into your hand. I don't remember this card. I don't think I've seen this a single time.
I did. I had it a few times.
I've never seen this card. I mean, it's a mythic, but still, I've never seen this card. This is a strong card. Ooh. Okay. I would pick this extremely highly. Blue is a knock against it, obviously, but I think I would pick this at a B minus level, and the top end of this is probably B plus.
The stats hurt a decent amount, but if you untap with this and start casting it, you just win extremely quickly. 2 untaps with this, I'm pretty sure you probably just win the game. But it just arriving on turn 4, and it can probably trade off with like something lower with it, which is not the lowest floor in the world. So you want it to go B minus and then what, B plus?
Yes.
Okay.
My on average is slightly higher than I expect you guys to go.
I think I'm also going to go B minus for overall pick, and then we'll see about the ceiling. I kind of want to just go for a B for a ceiling, but I'd speculate on this.
I'm picking this as a C plus. I remember playing this, and the stats really hurt in a set like this. Like this is an extremely powerful card in any of the previous sets. It's crazy how powerful it is. In Kaladesh it's still fine, but it's just the stats hurt it so much because board is all that matters. Of course, if you can untap, it does a lot. It basically doesn't block, right? If you block with this and they kill it, it's they usually got use less mana to do it. So, and it is sometimes, a lot of times, it's very hard not to block with something. So, still very powerful card. C plus and in color. I guess I would probably put it on a B minus, but you guys are on B, right?
Mobieus is on B+.
Okay, then let's average down to B.
Yeah, I can go down to a B because I think Scotty's on a B already. So
Okay. Much more powerful than it looks, just because of the speed of the format. Scotty?
oh well, here you go.
Tezzeret the Schemer, 2 blue black for a legendary Planeswalker Tezzeret, 5 starting loyalty, and then +1 is create an artifact creature token called Ethereum Cell, which you can tap it to sacrifice the artifact to add 1 mana of any color, basically a treasure token from Ixalan, or gold token, whatever you remember. -2, target creature gets -X until end of turn, where X is equal to the number of artifacts you control. And -7 does, text is too small for me to read. -7 is you get an emblem with at the beginning of your combat on your turn. Target artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with base power toughness 5/5, and that 5/5 doesn't go away. So you got a, oh, is it plus X -X? Thank you.
Am I still
I mean,
on the
you're
stream?
What's up?
Am I still on the stream?
No, you died for 1 second.
Oh, okay. But I'm back now.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Coming into play, so I mean, you can create your own artifacts with this, and then -2. Unfortunately, if it doesn't really create a blocker, if you go ahead and choose to do that. I remember this card, if you're able to protect it, being actually pretty serviceable, but protecting is the relatively tough part. Coming into play as a Planeswalker on turn 4 with 6 loyalty is actually quite large, which means if you just drop it and you just have any amount of blockers, your opponent can probably sneak like 1 attacker through, you know, and also like have reasonable traits, but then you get to untap with this. So I think untapping with this isn't unreasonable for the most part. Being able to drop this in -2 immediately if you've curved out with artifacts is actually pretty strong. I actually think that Tezzeret is pretty good out of all the Planeswalkers.
The best.
I think it's the best one, certainly.
Multicolored Planeswalkers, right?
Pardon?
Multicolored Planeswalkers.
Yeah, of all the yes, out of the
Well,
multicolored
Nissa, yeah.
Planeswalkers, it's the best one. I think I take this one at a C+, and in color, I think this could just be a high B+.
So, if you can ++-, that's huge. That's huge. Like ++-. So basically, it needs to survive 2 attacks from the opponent, and that is doable. But if you can't, I mean, +-2, then +-2, or just -2 2 times. It is gonna be. There are servos. There are multiple gear hulks which you're gonna have. There are a lot.
Okay, all right.
There are a lot of. Every gear hull I get, I put it in my deck. So there's that. You're probably gonna have a couple of vehicles in your deck. Like I remember having like 3 or 4 of vehicles. It was fine in most decks. So just -2ing something is -2 or -3 is pretty good. Oh, sorry, I'm shaking. It's not the cam. I'm shaking. My bad. So I pick it as a B- actually. Don't really want to splash. It's hard to splash, but this is something you want to splash for. It is hard, but this is something you want to splash for. And in color, like high B+ or even an A- for me. But I guess I can start it as a high B+. If the +1 was stronger, but still, I think it's high B+ in color.
Okay, I'm on a C plus B.
So, Scotty,
much else to
what's
say.
your in color grade?
B.
In color grade is also a B.
Okay, so B in color then. Like it's usually gonna be like 2 for 1 easy. In my experience. Okay.
I think the best part about it is that it just has so much toughness, and that it makes your opponent make bad attacks. I think that's the best part about the card.
Yeah.
Toughness.
And it is one of those that can't act, one of those planeswalkers, the old school ones, that really can't be ignored.
Hey, what was
long.
Tezzeret doing, by the way? What was he doing for Bolas in this plane? He was
Planar
search-
Gateway.
He's stealing something.
Yeah, what artifact was he stealing?
Planar Portal.
Planar portal.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Is
this,
that what it was called?
that's one that teleport. Is that one that teleports?
Planar
or
bridge.
that-
That's the one.
It's
I think
the
that's
biggest. It's the biggest F. Yeah. The 8 mana.
But
put
what does it
something
do
to play.
lore-wise? It was planar.
It forced the
Planar bridge.
planeswalkers down into Ravnica.
Isn't
That's
that the one where it you can
Put any permanent into play.
no in Ixalan he got the thing that locks the planeswalkers.
Yeah. The planar bridge forces them to come there. I think.
Isn't
Isn't that what it did?
isn't planar?
Oh, no, no,
isn't
no.
that planar beacon and they used it? I think Bolas didn't. That's planar beacon, I think, and the planeswalkers used it to come.
Cyborg Weasel in chat has it right.
So he trapped them.
used it to get the
Yeah. To
Gombos
get
and stuff
different.
from Amonkhet.
Yeah, to get non-planeswalkers to a different plane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
From
okay.
Amonkhet to the gods and stuff.
Very important for a tier list. So it's
Okay, who's reading this?
Scotty, I think.
What?
I think.
I just read the last one.
Oh, Dark Intimations. So, for 2 and Grixis mana. I mean, okay, not everybody knows. For 2 and a blue and a black and red, it's a sorcery that says each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker, then discards a card. You return a creature or planeswalker card from your graveyard to your hand, then draw a card. And okay, when you cast a Bolas Planeswalker spell, exile dark blah blah from your graveyard, that Planeswalker enters the battlefield with blah blah loyalty counter. Doesn't matter. Okay, so all in all, really nice. Like sack a creature, discard a card. That's 2 for 1 in some occasions. You draw a card, could like 2.5 for 1 because discarding after you can cast this isn't really a card a lot of the times, especially in Kaladesh. And then I guess 3 for 1, but only one thing affects the board. It is only one thing affects the board. That's sacrifice a creature. Splashing is very hard in this set. I remember I've played this few times, I gotta say. But you're gonna be making them sacrifice a 0/1 or a 1/1 most of the times. So there's that. Or something that already did something with the energy. I like to play this cards like this, but it's just like few times, just try them out a bit. But this doesn't really work in a set like Kaladesh. Let's say Dominaria, this would be amazing. This doesn't really work. This of color, I'm picking it as a D-, and I don't know, what is in color for this? I mean,
We don't give in color.
we don't give in color to this. Like this is just D-.
It's just a D-.
D-. This is a pretty bad card for this kind of a set. And it doesn't have green in it. That's huge that it doesn't have green in it.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a sign of power creep or what, but it feels wrong to me that this card doesn't let you put your creature or planeswalker on the board and it puts it to your hand.
No, it's not a power trip. It's like ultimatums, where most ultimatums are so terrible in limited. It's just the wedge cards. They have to be very careful
Yeah,
about.
but is this good in standard? I don't think so.
I don't think it was.
That's what I mean. Like that creature or planeswalker needs to hit the board for this to be a decent card. Like in limited or constructed, whatever. It's a bad card. It's just an F. I don't think I'll ever pick this.
Okay.
F.
Yeah, some people don't like Zendikar. That's crazy. Like Raphael, he's like, oh, finally, I don't have to play Zendikar. Zendikar is so good for me still.
I think Zendikar is fine, but it's got boring really quickly.
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
For me, it's similar like when I started. It's so interesting and complex to draft and play.
Yeah.
I think
All right,
that
Johnny.
I think that it's gonna be hard for them to like top it with all the mechanics that make so many things viable. Like nothing is shit in Zendikar really,
The best thing about Zendikar is the MDFCs.
and that as well.
That's it. Like everything else is fine.
I love the.
I expect
party.
them to use this set as a baseline for power level and playtesting.
Yeah, everything is.
That's what I would like.
Very, very well balanced in Zendikar.
For limited, anyway. Ajani the Unyielding, it's a 4 colorless, 1 green, 1 white planeswalker. And it has 4 loyalty. It has a +2 of reveal the top 3 cards of your library, put all non-land permanent cards revealed this way into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. -2 of exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power. Is this Path of Exile? Path to Exile? -9.
No. It's Swords to Plowshares.
Okay. -9 of put 5 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control, and 5 loyalty counters on each other planeswalker you control. Well, that doesn't really matter, but the 5 +1/+1 counters definitely matters. Wow. I mean, I've always liked Ajani in almost every single iteration I've seen him in. This one's fine too. It's really good card advantage. It is 6 mana, Selesnya, which is still an ask. The -2 is excellent. I don't really care that my opponent gains life if they lose their best creature, unless I'm about to lose next turn or something silly like that. I like this card. I'm picking this fairly highly. I'm picking it at a B-, and I think the ceiling of this is probably still a B+.
The in-color grade,
Okay.
right? If you're Celestia.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
All right. I think the being 2 mana more than Tezzeret is pretty rough, or just being 6 mana in general. I do think that +2 abilities on Planeswalkers are super busted. If this lasts past the first turn, it's almost never dying. Just because 2 loyalty a turn on a Planeswalker is absolutely massive, and plus you just get to develop your board that much more. Strong, but 6 mana, unfortunately. So I kind of have this one on par. I'm taking this at a C+, and I think in color is just a B.
Yeah, I'm on that train. Still 6 mana, but you can right away kill one thing. Next turn, probably kill another thing. Or if you're not in danger of dying or in danger of this dying, you can just +2 and then -2, +2 then -2 or whatever, or just +2 3 times and then win the game. But all the abilities are really, really powerful on this one. Gains life doesn't really matter. So this is really solid. Yeah, I'm picking it as a C+, even though it's a 6-drop. I think this is a good one. And in color, I still think it is not a B+. I think it's a B. His 6 mana hurts a lot in Kaladesh. I'm
cool.
probably giving it too high of a grade because probably, but I did love to play it. It was just when you got a chance to play this finally, you were dead a lot of the times. I remember I had to exile my creature a good number of times.
I was gonna say, if you're really in dire straits, you can exile your own worst creature or whatever to get some life in.
Not the worst creature, really. If you exile your worst creature, you're probably getting 0 life.
You get 2 life.
That, servos and so on.
You can exile your Oval Chase Dragster.
Yeah.
That's 6 life.
Damn. Okay.
Easy.
Why is that so good? But wait, let me check.
What's good?
Is it when it's no.
No, it's just because it's high power and toughness.
It's the cheapest high thing I could think of.
Okay.
It's a 3 mana one, right?
It's a 4 mana. It's
Well,
not
yeah,
even that
it's
cheap.
always so,
Oh.
you're getting 1 for your worst creature.
Don't we have the 3 mana 6/6?
3 mana 6/1. No, 4 mana. Well, it's 4 mana 6/1, right?
Whatever. Well, let's not think about this anymore.
No, the Dragster is 4 mana 6/1. This
Yeah.
would be a completely different creature if it was 3 mana vehicle.
Okay.
I don't think even did you say the right name for it?
It doesn't matter, Lola.
Let me see.
It doesn't matter.
We are done with those.
We're talking about a niche scenario where we're killing our own creature.
It's not even
and what's
that
the
niche,
best
I gotta
creature to
say.
kill?
Yeah,
Exile.
It is not that niche. It is really not that niche.
It's super niche.
No, I
Lola's only saying
remember.
that because he's done it one time, Scotty. That's why he's saying that.
No,
I'm-
no. I did it.
What?
I
You're
think
casting a 6 mana spell and then killing a creature of your own
I think I had
for
to
a
do it.
minus?
I think I had to do it something like. I actually got this card more than once. I got it. I don't know how. A good number of times. I guess if you're not Celestia, you're not taking it. So maybe that's why. I remember it was 20% of the time or something that I had to kill my creature because 6 mana is extremely rough for Kaladesh. It was so
I'm
rough.
assuming you lost all those games.
No, I didn't. Let's grade all of this at once. Like, okay,
Sure.
these are like, we have this cycle of fast lands, right?
Yeah.
Fastlands.
So when this dual land enters the battlefield, same for every. We have what 5 different color pairs. It's 5, I think. Yeah. Enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or fewer lands. You don't pick this highly. In Kaladesh, you want to get a hand on board. You're not that. It's not pressing to. No dual lands in color. That doesn't matter. It is not that important to splash in Kaladesh. It is most time you're not gonna splash unless we are so wrong and the set is not gonna be very fast. And
Yeah, that's a caveat. We don't know
Yeah.
how fast this set is going to be.
I-
It's probably going to be fast, but we don't.
it's gonna be very fast, I think.
All the mechanics incentivize attacking.
Yeah, everything is just attacking. There is nothing that rewards blocking, or there are no really good blockers. So, I mean, for this, in Kaladesh, I really don't care about this. I'm gonna just give it a D+. I don't care about this in Kaladesh at all. D+, on average. Everyone else? Mobieus?
Yeah, I agree with that. That's fine. D plus is fine.
Scotty?
Oh my gosh, there's gonna be best of 3 for a week.
There's gonna be best of 3?
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Whoa!
Thanks,
part of
Sakano.
from November 12th to 19th. Yeah, the first week is traditional draft.
Oh, are you kidding me?
November 12th. Isn't it coming out on the 14th?
Oh.
No, it's coming out on the 12th.
Yeah, 12.
Oh,
12.
why did I think it was the
2 days.
14th?
No, it's on Thursday.
Oh.
2 days.
Oh.
Oh.
How did none of us know this?
Nobody
know
knew
this.
that.
Well, clearly Agnar knew this.
Well, that is today's news. That's today's news.
Oh, that's today's news. Okay.
Oh, nice.
It's probably Lola complaining about it so much.
Yeah, I have good connections. No, I don't. But, wow.
We didn't even need to correct you there. You were like, no, I don't.
That's
Sad.
beautiful. Man, Kaladesh is so... I'm so happy now. It's because
Calm down, dude.
this set...
Redo review for sideboard grade.
So,
Kappa?
like-
no.
I just want to put
Hey,
this in
did you see
everybody's...
this?
What? No. We can just maybe add sideboard grades later.
Yeah, later.
Okay,
Look at
so-
the draft challenge. Look at the draft challenge.
What is the
Wait, there's a challenge?
What is it?
Yeah, just scroll down like a little bit and then go to the section called Kaladesh Remastered Draft Challenge. Pull it up on the screen.
Oh, shit!
What is this?
I'm excited now.
What is
Look
this?
at the fucking...
Scroll down a little bit, Lola. Read those details.
Oh, baby. Look at the amount of gold you get. Feels good, baby.
Oh!
Is this the first competitive limited event?
Nice. We just need to
This is
add
the first
cyborg grades for
competitive.
best of 3. We just need to add cyborg grades for best of 3.
I think we should do for this event. This is a very high stakes event.
Wow.
For limited. Too bad Lola doesn't have gold. It also says 3k gems.
Hey, okay, good.
Switching 3k gems into 20k gold. What the fuck? That doesn't even matter.
Hey, why did they make...
That's break even.
Oh,
That's break even.
yes, I was saving gold. I have like 15,000 gold. I was
you'll be alright
using, I started like, I don't know, let's say a week ago, doesn't matter. I said, okay, I'm not going to use gold every time, because every time I use gold, then I want to buy something with the gold. And now I want to buy this with the gold. Like, it's not worth it to use.
Yeah, I did that before I was poor. I just decided to save the gold because you can't buy gold. You have to earn it.
Yeah. Oh, and you can't, it's slower to earn, right? Gold than gems.
Yes. Yes, it is.
So, no, wow.
It's a shame that the best prize is more booster packs and not more gold, which is fine.
So wait, 20
But,
booster packs, that's what, 400 gems, right?
Yeah. I mean, six wins is what you're aiming for. Wait, I'm assuming that last one is supposed to say 7
5
wins,
wins. This
right?
got to be 5 wins, yeah. Yeah, this is 5 wins, everybody. This is 5 wins.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good. So 5 wins is what we're aiming for then. If you get all your gold back and 30 boosters, which will net you what? If you got the entire set, 20 times 3, 600 gems.
These rewards are pretty bad, right?
Yes.
These rewards are pretty bad. I mean, if you're drafting the player that just drafts, what is
That's a
this?
shame.
This is like
That's a
one-
shame. A limited event is aimed for constructed players. That's a real shame.
So for 4 wins you get things back, and for 6 wins, it's still better than current best of 3, right? Than
Oh,
current
yeah,
best of
yeah.
3 rewards.
It is better than current best of 3.
Nice. I don't care. It's fun. This is cool. This is cool.
It's better than nothing, you know.
This is really cool. No, man, come on. We have best of 3 colors. That's so wait. So we have best of 3 for a week, and when does the draft challenge become? 10 days after. So okay. This is good. This is good. This is
Wait,
good.
so you're gonna get used to
Draft
it.
challenge is only 3 days.
It's a weekend, yeah. Weekend.
Okay, that's
Oh,
fine. That's
that's-
fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
No, it's fine. We never had it before. It's fine.
sure.
No, don't. By the way, so I just want to put this in everybody who's watching in their heads. So this set was extremely aggressive, and best of one hand smoother, it is worse than it was before. I don't know if they had it even before, but right now, before it was. I think they had it, but I know it was. It
When
chose.
Kaladesh was out, they didn't really have a hand smoother, or at least they didn't talk about
I'm
it.
not sure, but I know before the hand smoother, it was choosing between 2 hands, not 3. And now it's choosing
Yeah.
between 3 hands. So imagine extremely aggressive set. Like we didn't see anything this aggressive in a long, long time. And also having a hand smoother. Like
14 lands, baby.
yeah, like your 4 drops and 5 drops are gonna, unless they are pangolin or the train, they're gonna be like they're gonna feel really. They would feel really bad. But with best of 3, with no hand smoothing, it opens up a bit more to the deck building. You can play some slower decks, and you can board in against different. You can. Oh my god, it's so good. I'm so happy. Scotty, what do you give it to the lands?
D plus.
Okay. These are all
Wait, Mobius, what'd you give it?
D plus also.
Also D+,
Okay.
yeah.
We have Inventor's Fair, right? Mobius?
Who reads this? Me? Invent is fair. It's a legendary land. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you get control 3 or more artifacts, you gain a life. You can pay... you tap it for colorless, and you can pay 4 colorless mana and tap it. To sacrifice it, search your library for an artifact card to reveal it. Put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Activate this ability only if you control 3 or more artifacts. It's not really a thing. It's just a D-. I'm not picking this.
I'm giving this an F. I'm just never gonna put this in my deck.
Yeah,
It's just not worth it.
F. I never play
I mean,
this.
I'm never picking this as well, except that one time when I have a million artifacts. But you're right; it should just be an F. Okay.
Yeah.
Just because I'll pick it doesn't mean you should. Chat. Don't pick this card. It's
So
the Scotty. It's the Scotty guidelines.
people are correct. Some people said it is Kaladesh best of 1 is probably gonna be curve out first win, which is low skill, high variance, and almost nobody that plays draft, except people that are not very good, want that.
I mean, I don't think it's low skill. It's only low skill because of the smoother.
Yeah, but that's best of 1. Hand smoother. There is no
Because remember, deck building is a thing.
best of 1 is a hand smoother. There is no best of 1 without hand smoother unless you're playing with your friends, which I don't care. We're not gonna cover that really.
Wow. I thought you were gonna say I don't care about my friends.
But yeah. So this is a huge thing because it's gonna be.
Yeah, they
so,
really need to make best of 3.
It's gonna be
I agree.
extreme high variance, and the better you are, it's not gonna matter much in Kaladesh best of 1. So this is really good.
All right.
Oh,
go
Spire of
ahead.
Industry. Tap it for colorless. I don't know if I reset this. I guess I don't think I reset anything.
That's okay.
Whatever. Sorry. Spire of Industry, it's a land. You can tap for colorless. Or you can tap and pay 1 life, add 1 mana of any color. Activate this ability only if you control an artifact.
But why?
Woof. I think, this is an F. I'm going to give this an F as well. It's just need an artifact before you can fix, and if you fix, it's painful.
Yeah.
That's rough. That's just not worth over a basic land.
Yeah. F. Paying 1 life is so much for Kaladesh. It is a big thing. So F.
Yeah, just F. Let's move on.
Move on. That's it. We're done.
Wait. Where is the good land?
What do you mean, what good land?
There's no good lands.
There's no good land.
No, the energy land.
Does it exist?
Ether Hub.
Oh, are they non-res?
Oh my gosh, it's the buy a box.
Oh, it doesn't. It's not in draft.
It's not in the set. Oh no, wait, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Oh, I'm filtering by the wrong one. I'm sorry. It's because it's in the common. It's not a rare, and I filter. We didn't look at these yet. Never mind.
Okay.
That's my bad. There we go. There's the last one.
Okay.
We missed the one.
Okay, Ether Hub, an uncommon land. So you're gonna see this. When Ether Hub enters the battlefield, you get an energy. For tap, you get a colorless. For tap, pay energy, you get 1 mana of any color. This was playable. This is fine. This is fine. Sometimes, a lot of the times, like you have the colors you need, and you just get a free energy. I always like this. But you can't run. I mean, you can get energy with other things, and then it can help. But I still think the set is a little bit fast, so I'm just gonna give this a C minus.
C minus? That's a bit high.
Yeah. I could go down to D plus. You talk about it.
I mean, I don't think this is. I agree with you. I don't think it's worth a C minus though. I'm picking this at a D plus level. Probably D.
Dang, I'll go C minus on this one. Like, I actually think like fixing in the first couple turns sometimes can save your butt, even if you just don't have energy afterwards. Just being able to develop and keep up on board when you otherwise wouldn't be able to. And then, of course, you can just fuel it later. I think this card is fine. And sometimes just being able to push you over the threshold of one activation could be a pretty big game if you're just lacking 1 energy to make 1 additional servo, etc.
That's true.
I think
Yeah.
it's fine. I have C minus.
All right, I'll go up to a D plus, but that's. I
I also like how Lola described this as the good land.
yeah.
And here we are,
This
C
is the
minus.
good land.
But it
The
is a
thing
good
is-
land, right?
Yeah, it is. But the thing is, I think in general, it's like you're saying, because it's an aggressive set, we're not picking the lands as highly. They don't. I just don't care about fixing that much. We're not splashing.
Are we done?
I think that's
I
it.
don't know. You
That's
guys
it?
tell me.